Water types are the most commonly found in the entire series, making up more of the Pokédex than any other type. But how do they hold up in battle? Well, I decided to find out the only way I know how, by trying to beat Pokémon Legends ZA using only water types. Can a team made up of drinking fountains and domesticated crocodiles make it to the end? Or will we fail to make a splash in Kalos? Let's find out. We get off the train in Lumiose and Tawny and I are immediately mugged by a Pancham. I say mugged, I had no money left after the public transport meal prices. £13 for a sandwich? Get away from me. So we chase it down, and somehow that leads us straight into choosing our starter. Ooh, tough decision for a water run. I'm not sure what I'll do. Of course I grab Totodile, name it Midnight, and bite back at the little thug. Despite this not being my first run, the combat system is still so alien to me. Don't expect any Wolf Glick moments from me anytime soon. We make it through the early stages, log into the Battle Royale app, join Team MZ, and get the little catch tutorial from Tawny before we get replaced. Replaced? We've only just started. Apparently, there's someone with a stronger bond to my lovely Midnight than me. Fortunately for us though, Mabel isn't available as a trainer. I'm assuming Totodile just loves the familiar blue hair. Mabel gives us our research tasks, so I guess I'll be doing plenty of Mabel's research, just so my poor Totodile has an excuse to come visit her again. And then, oh Jesus Naveen, that hat. You keep hold of it, I really don't. Oh, you're giving it to me. Thanks. But also, no thanks. We ditch the hat and get straight to work, smashing up the local community purely to get this little snapper some levels. Although, when Midnight finally gets to fight, it's nearly a disaster. We almost lose to a Bellsprout. A Bellsprout! Hanging on with just 3 HP. This is not exactly the powerful start I had in mind. Eventually, we snag our Challengers Pass to take on Zack. And it's not great again. It literally comes down to the final hit, as we barely scrape past his Pikachu. From the fight we've had so far, it's not looking good so far this run. We've somehow become the underwater underdogs. Anyway, we move up to Y rank, Emma shows up, double cheeked up on a Thursday afternoon, and immediately Naruto runs off into the distance. The next day rolls around and we unlock the ability to jump off roofs. If that fight against Zack had got any worse, I might have tested that Rotom phone safety feature a little earlier. Of course, I am glad we didn't throw ourselves off of a roof after losing to Z Eternal, because not long after, we reel in our first encounter. Oh, it's in the water! I love fishing! Wait, where do I get the rod? The game doesn't have a fishing rod. How do I burn a virtual game cartridge? Anyway, even without a rod, we managed to catch our first wild encounter, Royal the Magikarp. Absolutely useless now, sure, but I know he's going to be an absolute demon later on. For now, he can sit tight in the party, flopping majestically behind us. We'll come back for another encounter later on, as I don't want to overshadow the emotional depth of dragging this poor damp fish across Lumiose. Hey, if you're enjoying this, make sure to hit like and subscribe to the channel so I know you're a true Poke fanatic. And I've got a question for you. What water-type Pokemon do you think deserves a Mega Evolution in the DLC? Join the Macho Race comment crew like these guys as soon as possible by letting me know down below. Back in the run, we bump into Ivor, that steel-abbed warrior we will probably cross paths with again later on, who's rambling about something I frankly couldn't care less about, and you shouldn't care either. Before long, we run into little TT fresh out of the nail salon again, and she ropes us into helping with her detective work. Naturally, we say yes, and in return, we unlock side missions across the game, which turns out to be really handy for a water encounter down the line. Like, couldn't be more important if we tried. No, for real. The Pokemon boomers of the community will love this one. Before tackling those missions, we take a quick detour to go hunting in the trees for our next water-type encounter. And luckily for us, it doesn't take too long before we find the cutie of all cuties. This is Periwinkle the Pampaw, an absolute little darling, and he definitely knows it. The 3 lads and I hit the road once more and go lay a beat down on that big old Bunnelby causing chaos. Come on, geezers, let's get him! Emma, how much coffee are you drinking? You're absolutely wired. Then, out of nowhere, the caffeine-fueled detective casually whips out a mega-evolved Ampharos. Excuse me? What the hell, Emma? Our team would die immediately if that thing even sneezed in our direction. What is your problem, you unhinged electric-loving witch? We follow that chaos by earning ourselves a well-deserved challenger ticket, which nets us just enough experience to evolve our starter into the dumpy little monster he was always destined to be. Midnight evolves into Croconaw, trading snapping for snacks, apparently. Let's get you on the treadmill, buddy. Then we go ahead and barely reel in a win against Yvonne, the Y-rank trainer, nearly finding ourselves in a nightmare scenario of letting Magikarp flop around aimlessly. But we do walk away with a record-high X rank. It might not mean much to a landlubber, but as somewhat of a watery pirate myself, I love to see an X marking the spot. After an extremely eventful day, it's time to sleep and start all over again in the morning. We head out to face Naveen in the hotel courtyard with our trusty watery warriors. Wait, what? We lost? What? Against Naveen? Of all the trainers, Naveen! Oh, jeez Louise, that's a terrible omen for what's up ahead. So, we train up a bit more and manage to win on the second go before hunting down another challenger ticket to get our rank up match. Once we've got a ticket in our hands, we jump straight into a battle with Javi, which, in hindsight, was an absolutely terrible idea. His Roselia carved through us like a Michelin star chef on a mission. Things aren't going well today. It must be Friday the 13th on my save file or something. Thankfully, a little grinding on Royal gives us Gyarados, and suddenly the tides of our team have started to turn. With a final hit from Periwinkle, we take down the Titan himself, X-rank Javi. I think we're making him sound better than he actually is though. But hey, we'll take it, and we bask in the glory of a shiny new W rank. But it doesn't end there. We're on the lookout for our next blubbing team member. We head into Wild Zone 6 and scoop up Aegian the Binacle. Binacle? Binacle? I don't know. And honestly, I probably will never care. So correct me in the comments if you want. The next day, we're approached by AZ, the old hotel owner. And by old, I mean 3,000 years old. He sends us on a quest to return Lida's lost items, which we just know is going to end in a battle. So before heading out, we train a little more. And wait, did I already mention catching Aegian? I did? Great, sorry. I've been scripting this past midnight and I'm really tired. Now, I've been excited for this fight for a few reasons. Not only does this little wannabe think she can take me on and win, like the mighty Naveen, but she's also running a very water-based team. I'm sorry, Lida, but that's my role in the squad now, so get in your place and hand over your clauncher. If you resist, I will cook that thing alive. We pick up our challenger ticket later that night and go searching for more seafood, snagging ourselves a new recruit, Baltic the Staryu. It's not quite the crustacean cuisine that Lida brought to the table, but it's still a damn good addition to our squad. All that talk about cooked lobsters got me hungry though, so it's on to Chef Rintaro, who, honestly, has the perfect kitchen to make my team a delicious dinner. I don't mean cook a delicious dinner for them, I mean make them into dinner. Most of his elemental monkey trio aren't much of a problem, but the grassy gorilla he throws out, it's a bit scarier than I'd like. Still, after squeezing past his final ape with Aegian, we climb up to V rank, which, as I've said before, stands for very nice, good job Macho brace. Has Nintendo added that officially yet, or is that gonna be in the DLC? Oh, sorry puppy. I ate all the scraps today. Rintaro is chucking out linguine. Wait, you've got more? You know a place? It better not be a dumpster. I'm following you then, let's go. I black out and somehow I wake up on the roof. How much wine does that restaurant cook with? Oh dear, did they give some to you as well, Absol? This leads us straight into our first rogue mega fight, which we brush aside with a rented Lucario. Come on guys, he's blue! He counts as water for now, so don't get your barnacles in a twist. From now on, we can Mega Evolve anything if we've got the stone for it. What a treat! I'm looking at you, Staryu. Get a move on and evolve already. We get a call from Mabel, and of course, we jump at the opportunity to help her out. When I turn around from talking to her, we're greeted by some very familiar faces. I get to choose a Kanto starter, and of course, we go for Bulbasaur. No, of course we don't. It's Squirtle, and we name her Storm. This is the new queen of our team, and officially fills out our squad of 6. She might not be packing a punch yet, but our watery waders are looking more and more like a gang ready for whatever treacherous tides come out next. Speaking of treacherous, it's time to take on Vinny, the unknown ranked trainer. We will try our best to knock that top knot right off his head, but we need to consider that his team is absolutely stacked. Fortunately, we're quite well prepared as everyone's trained up, morale's high, and it's time for us to make a splash. We even get the joy of watching Midnight graduate from Podgy Club and enroll in the University of Scratchy Claws, evolving into a full-on Feraligatr. And little Storm? Well, she's brewing up nicely too, evolving into a slightly more intense weather warning as Wartortle. With a fresh challenger ticket in hand, and a stronger squad behind us, and more water energy than bottled water commercial actors, we dive into the fight with Vinny. It's tense. His Mega Dramper starts tearing through our defenses, but once it finally runs out of Mega Power, Royal the Gyarados swoops in to plunder us a win against the stubbornly tough Vinny. And with that, we're up to a whopping F rank. F stands for, well, Feraligatr needs a new moveset. Next stop, the Quasitico building, where the world of Mega Evolution truly opens up for us. The company, apparently warmed by the big old dude AZ, is rallying elite trainers to stop rogue Megas from tearing the city apart, which of course means us and only us currently. So we casually unlock the ability to buy Mega Stones, and the water type one available to us is Gyarados, instantly turning Royal into a weapon of mass destruction. Well, I think anyway. I actually haven't tried it out yet, but I'm sure they will be. From here, we head into our first rogue Pokemon hunt, tracking down a variety of mini-bosses in exchange for their Mega Stones. It's a blast. Honestly, I love this part of the game. It's so much more satisfying than some NPC just handing you the item. And then NPC AZ hands us Feraligatrite. Brilliant. Perfect timing right after I said that. But hey, it kinda is great timing because we immediately get jumped by a dog that got us drunk last week. Or was that the restaurant wine? Either way, this pooch is about to feel my wrath. Oh, hi Lysander. Wait, Lysander? I thought you blew up in X and Y. Oh, you're just going by L now. Yeah, that's hip. That's kind of cool, I guess. Down with the fellow kids, I see. Next up, we're setting sail into a batch of streamer-focused missions to earn our shot at E rank against Canary, the resident Lumio's e-girl. It's packed with references to stan behavior, and honestly, it hits way too close to home with some of Twitter's users. Eventually, we get the chance to face off against her biggest stan in a battle to decide who's the stanniest of them all. Naturally, we make it a little unfair by cashing in our Water Stones and evolving some of the team. First, Baltic evolves into Starmie, one step closer to that heavenly Mega. And then, Periwinkle evolves into Simipour, who is absolutely radiating good vibes. Just look at that hair. We splash through this electric-powered internet ghoul with ease and move on up in the competition. Then, as we get closer to the streamer, in the least creepy way possible I might add, we take on her closest compadre, Tarragon, who also happens to be Canary's granddad. He challenges us to a huge fight, where our water types barely even splash against his ground types, despite having an advantage. That doesn't bode well for us, does it? I really hope Canary's got an easier typing. Oh, she's electric type. Oh dear God, that's terrible. To avoid a complete whitewash, we feed Storm some XP candy, evolving our Wartortle into a full-blown Blastoise. An absolute Kanto-crushing monster, especially now she's holding Blastoiseite, which we got from the Stone Emporium. Let's see how this goes. Well, we expected that wipe to happen, so it's back to the drawing board for a moment. I figure maybe I just played badly the first time? Welp. Nope. Womp womp. Turns out I didn't, and we just need to get stronger again. After some grinding and evolving Agent into Barbaracle to give the team a bit more muscle, we're finally ready to try again. We take on Canary again. Please game, this time? And after pushing our team a level or two higher, packing some extra bulk and embracing the pure stubborn willpower of smashing your head against a wall until it cracks, we finally break through that venomous beast of an Electros and rank up to E-Class Trainer. E stands for Electricity is really annoying for this run, and I'm not having fun anymore. Canary gives us a plush to remember her by, so naturally, I immediately hand it off to Naveen. I don't want to be reminded of that traumatic experience ever again. Let's just hope that's the last time we face Canary. We're gonna have to face her again, aren't we? You have got to be kidding me! We move on to a team meeting, and we're told we'll be tackling more rogue Megas. Beedrill, the big pointy one with wings, Horlucha, the big flying punchy one with wings, and Banette, the one that definitely needed a Mega when it got it, but maybe just needed a general buff as well. I always thought it was a bit underpowered. These fights take a little while, but honestly, they're a good bit of fun to break up the main story, so I'm here for it. Eventually, the glistening marbles drop into my hands, and I have to remind myself they're not sweets. Don't eat the tasty rocks. Don't even lick it. Just don't do it. We head back to the hotel, and our phone notifies us once again it's time for our next rank up match. We're finally pushing for that suspiciously smelly D rank. D stands for durian at the moment, because those things stink. Much like our sweat-soaked opponent, none other than Ivor. We batter one of his Iron Justice Goonettes in the most intense use of bounce I've seen in a Pokemon game, before the man, the myth, the legend himself shows up. And in true Pokemon fashion, we can't fight him yet. He's lost his sister, Gwyn, who, if you ask me, probably just wanted to get away from his pit stench. But if we want that promotion, we'll have to find her first. Emma, get over here. This is your kind of job. Emma actually obliges and tells us to go to the place that smells the worst. So, after writing off Ivor's sweaty back, we head to the streamer's cave, who unfortunately challenges us again with her electric types. Jesus, Canary, that was so tough. That Electros is an absolute brute. But after we push through, sadly for us, she's not with the streamer either. Apparently, the smell is even worse than an influencer, so the only place left is the Lumio's sewers. Inside, we do pick up a Skrelp that we name Cerulean, but it loses that vital water typing on evolution, so unfortunately, it's just a knick-knack in the box for the rest of the run. Sorry, buddy. Ivor smashes through a gate, we all casually walk through a wall, and Emma still somehow manages to make my audience feel all tingly inside whenever she's on screen. I'm on to you, viewers. You're not fooling anyone behind that screen of yours. Eventually, we find Gwyn, and of course, she just wants independence. Look, Ivor, she's your sister. She's not your pet. Leave the girl to her ghostly vibes and get on with your own weightlifting life. We do battle her purely to make her upset, and our team of bubbles and tides washes the light right out of her haunting Mega Chandelure. God, I love the move bounce. Those seconds of silence before the inevitable impact are pure happiness. Once she's defeated, it's finally time to take on the stinking seeker himself, Ivor. And unlike our previous fire-only run, which you should check out by the way, I think we actually have enough firepower. Or should I say water power? Anyway, I think we can sail right by him. I know this is completely random, but can we talk about how cute it is when Baltic the Starmie spins back to us after decimating something? Mega Phalanx comes out and shortly goes down without much threat thanks to a signature Mega Royal display. With little friction, the D rank is ours. D now stands for deodorant. Please, Ivor, for everyone's sake, use some damn deodorant. After that, we take a little breather, fresh air now, grinding a few quests for Mabel by catching some Pokemon we obviously aren't allowed to use, but also a few that we are. We pick up a Slowpoke named Denim, who is slow and simple, before catching a Kavana named Teal, who's snappy and scary. Both might get a shot in the team if I still wasn't so obsessed with Periwinkle's hair. What conditioner do you use, honey? Because you're head and shoulders above the rest. Tss, right? Talking about encounters, it's probably dawned on a few of you now that there's a particularly froggy member that hasn't joined our team. I'm holding off on getting that Pokemon because it needs a Mega Stone, which unfortunately I won't be obtaining in this run thanks to the online battling necessity. So the Froakie frogs can graze in their wild zone and rivet us to victory from a distance. Sorry ninjas, all the Froakie stands raging at me in the comments culminates in something going completely wrong. Tawny is being hunted by loan sharks. Am I allowed to make the Sharpedo joke here again? Because I really liked it last time I made that joke. Either way, we rush over to the Rust Syndicate headquarters, where we meet Philippe and his steel-clad squad. He casually whips out a Mega Skarmory, which causes absolute chaos for the team as we struggle to dispatch it. Luckily, his momentum falters, and we've got enough pressure in the washer to clean him aside. Again, one of my favourite silly details of this game is when we get into the base, we temporarily lose our running ability for just one small corridor. It cracks me up for no reason at all, but it is the small touches like this that just crack me up. Inside, we meet Corbeau and his Periwinkle-esque hair. Turns out Tawny took a loan for 100,000 Pokédollars, and the interest has ballooned to a staggering 1 million. I briefly suggest selling Naveen's kidneys, but Lyda sensibly talks me out of it. Instead, we agree to help clear the debt by doing jobs for the Syndicate if needed. A life of crime follows me everywhere I go, but honestly, I do enjoy the thrill of a bit of illegal skullduggery. For the time being, we're back on the rogue Pokemon duck hunt. First up is Mega Mawile, who gets cooler every time I see it. I don't understand how I wasn't completely obsessed with this back in the Aurus days. Then it's on to Mega Barbaracle, which is incredibly important for the team. This fight ends up being my favourite of the rogue Megas, and we walk away with a crucial stone to slap straight onto Aegian. But my mood doesn't stay high for long, because Mega Ampharos is nothing short of a diabolical menace. This fight is really hard, like really hard. For our team especially, that's not exactly shocking given our history with electric types, but after a long slog, we finally push through. And not long after that, Corbeau starts conveniently sending us new jobs. And instead of the kind of cool Syndicate work I was expecting, you know, taking out enemies with weapons and interrogating people in basements, it's cleaning the sewers and kicking Pokemon out of buildings. Like, come on, Corbeau, let me threaten someone. Let me give them an unforgettable amount of trauma or something. What's your problem being so nice? Wait, there's a mob ahead. Corbeau, hand me the tear gas. These dang flash mobs are gonna get it, and they're gonna get it bad. Unfortunately, we disperse the mob in the safest, controlled manner possible, saving President Jet and Tawny before we do get called into a private meeting. I'm assuming it's gonna be about me begging for tear gas, isn't it? On the leather sofas, we soon find out we're facing Corbeau himself for our next promotion match. Shock horror! Who could have seen that coming? Honestly, I've lost a bit of respect for Corbeau as time's gone on. He fronts like a villain, but man, this guy hasn't even kneecapped a single trainer. There's no casino in his name, no Pokemon trafficking, nothing. Team Rocket is still the GOAT of organized crime. Corbeau's got a lot to work to do if he wants to take that crown. We power through the local trainer fodder, rack up 38,000 points, and earn our challenger token in solid time. And with that, we're ready to take down the so-called crime lord himself. Let's see what he's really got. First up is Arbok versus Aegian the Barbaracle, and with some ground moves hitting for super effective damage, the purple python drops. Roserade then comes in, and we swap into Gyarados, whose bounce one-shots the Flower Show. Then Corbeau brought in his own Gyarados, and it starts carving through our team with bounce like it's a trawler at sea. I guess this is kind of karma for our own bounce antics. Eventually, Mega Midnight does get the KO, but it's suddenly a Megaroth with Scolipede, who instantly turns into an armored tank of a bug. It's a heated back and forth, but eventually at the very last moment, Midnight pulls through with a slash, and the victory is ours. Corbeau goes down, and we fish our way up to the sea-sicky heights of a rank C trainer. C stands for, Corbeau, you need to stop copying my Gyarados strategy. The nasty turn nice guy decides to clear Tawny's debt, officially closing out the rank C questline. We're making great progress here, but I can feel things are about to get even better as we're now being encouraged to smash up the fellow MZ members. I am the Water King. Remember that, Lida? Where's your Barbaracle and its deeply uncomfortable aura, huh? Then the internet's new favourite maid arrives, Laban, whose social media absolutely adores for some reason. I can't quite work it out though. I'm assuming it's her personality? She tells us that Jasant, the leader of the Society of Battle Connoisseurs, or SBC for short, wants us to attend the next gathering. I'm sure some of you viewers got your front row tickets in early, didn't you? On our way to the outfit change, I run into an Eevee named Glacier after falling off a roof. Don't ask. Which gives us the option to evolve into Vaporeon. But honestly, those periwinkle dreads keep me loyal to the Pampor line. They're just too cool not to keep in my peripheral vision at all times. We swap our watery drip for Swanky Sauce with a brand new suit before our next opponent decides she doesn't want to exist anymore. She literally runs directly underneath Royal's bounce. I guess she's dressed for a funeral. I just didn't think it'd be her own. We then set sail to an old school heritage site. I'm assuming I might need my National Trust card for this. And just as we're about to see what happens next, Tawny calls us away to go hunt more rogue megas. Honestly, I sort of appreciated it this time. The whole room smelled like condescending looks and Jasant's hairspray. The team regroups for a meeting to discuss the plan, and we're set the next challenge to hunt down more megas. First up is Frostlass, who's rocking one of the best designs out there, but our squad handles her easily thanks to a few Dark-type moves spread across the watery warriors. Mega Altaria, on the other hand, is a completely different story. We don't have much to hit it with, and I black out mid-fight, because apparently I can't focus for 5 minutes straight. Still, eventually we do come back and clean up the cloudy chicken. Then there's Mega Venusaur, who is very much in the Altaria camp of difficulty. Bulky, tough, and just really a massive problem. That grassy goblin has every advantage over us. Unfortunately, some slick aerial maneuvers from Royal the Gyarados helps chip it down before the squad finally rolls in to finish the job. Anyway, we secure our new stones and travel back to show them off to AZ. But suddenly, the maid decides she's done mucking around. Or cleaning up? Or tidying? There is a joke in there somewhere, I just can't find it. Laban, under Jasant's orders, locks us inside the battle cage and demands a fight. We're hostages, battling our way out. This is my Hunger Games moment. Channeling Katniss Everdeen, we make quick work of the first two grunts. You got a good view there, mate? You don't seem to be watching the battle, you freaky man. And we push past Laban's brutal team to free ourselves from the dome. If you lose that, you get booted back 6 or 7 minutes, so not quite as bad as the Hunger Games, where you literally lose your life. With that nonsense over, and the air cleared with Laban, we grab ourselves a Challenger's ticket at our favourite spot in the world. Just jump the door. There you go, Royal. There you go. With that coupon in hand, we have a shot at our promotion match, and of course, it's against Jasanth. Except, it's not. Not yet, anyway. First, we have to compete in a tournament against some of the previous rank-up opponents. Let's just hope we don't face Canary again, because that'd be awful. Oh, we face her first? Oh, excellent. Brilliant stuff. She's not quite as terrifying this time, probably because our squad's a bit stronger, and we just about scrape past her Electros to take the win without blacking out, which makes a nice change of pace. The medically induced coma she always puts us into was starting to get a bit worrying. After that, Ivor and his fighting types are pretty much the same story as our Rank D match. There's some back and forth, but in the end, it's Royal who flattens his team before Storm washes away Mega Phalanx, sending us into the semi-finals. Poor Bo, who's traded crime for competition, is our next opponent. We take down his Arbok with Agent before he sends out Roserade. That prompts a swap into Royal. Is anyone getting deja vu? And we bounce for a swift KO. Let me guess. Gyarados next? Yep, of course. This time we swap into Agent, but he goes down after missing a Stone Edge. Luckily, Storm cleans up the beast, and when Scolipede enters and Mega Evolves, we head back into Royal, who bounces the Centipede Centurion down to half health before Baltic comes in with a Psychic to crack the Crime Lord's critter. Before we face Jasanth, we've got to deal with this damn dog again. Come on, mate, just move over for a moment. Wait, what the hell? It's a snake now? Yikes! We try to embody Steve Irwin as much as possible and calm Zygarde down with little to no issues, mostly thanks to a very lucky freeze from Midnight's Ice Fang. We then send Lysander, or L as he insists on being called, away with his interrupting dog. Just take your dog somewhere else, man. This has been my journey, and your main character wannabe act is sort of ruining it. And finally, after peeling off those posh boy clothes, it's time for us to clobber Jasanth. Her team, not her personally. Please don't report me for that comment. She opens with Carbink, which is great, as we want to set up with Agent. We Mega Evolve and bulk up before we try to get on a bit of a knockout spree. But truth be told, it doesn't really work, and it turns into a bit of group warfare between our teams. Eventually, it ends up with a damaged Baltic versus her Mega Clefairy. Unfortunately, our recover doesn't do enough, and we end up dropping to a Mystic Fire. Then it's Storm, the queen of the team, chipping away at the winged pinked Mystic, and after an astounding amount of time, so much so that her Mega Power ran out, we get the final hit for the victory. After the fight, we rank up to B rank, which stands for Bro, get me the hell out of this posh room. From there, we dawned into a new day, and suddenly we're thrown into a meeting with President Jet, whom we saved earlier if you remember. They explained that the Wild Zone barriers were designed to create safe areas where Pokemon and people could live side by side. In theory, it's a very wholesome idea, but in practice, well, this is Lumio's after all. Their track record of great ideas isn't that good. Prism Tower is apparently emitting some serious energy, or Mega Power, and when you combine that with the sudden influx of wild Pokemon from the zones, you get rogue Mega Evolutions popping up all over the city. I feel like this little nugget of information would have been really useful earlier on. Naturally, this delayed revelation is followed by an incredibly important mission, a trio of rogue Megas to hunt down. And this one, this one is the one I've been waiting for the entire run. First up is Mega Dragonite, blah blah blah, move out the way you big podgy beast. You're slowing me down. Then comes Mega Tyranitar, yeah bro, spikes and stuff, big and tough, get out the way. But then, it's the one we've all been waiting for since the start of this watery adventure. The divine, the glorious, the somewhat controversial Mega Starmie. God has arrived, and it's all leggy and radiant in its star power. Our Baltic blushes, and I'm enthralled. We cut down the purple throwing star and are rewarded handily with the run-defining Megastone, Starmanite, the Megastone of our dreams. We regroup back at the hotel for what we're told is our final promotional match. And of course, it's against the ever-present Grisham. Wait, you don't know who that guy is? Have you been paying attention? He's the coffee shop owner. The guy who hasn't had a name until this point, you big goon. Get your ears sorted. We head to the coffee shop because we have been paying attention. Cough, cough. I'm looking at you, loyal subscriber of the channel. And when we arrive, the barista Grisham tells us he's been battling to carry on Team Flair's ideals under a new name, Team Flair Nouveau. Ooh, so posh. He tells us we can't stop him and invites us to meet him at his secret base. Eventually, we track him down to a rundown coffee house, where two Team Flair members show up and immediately start getting unnecessarily condescending. Oi, lay off! They reveal that this is the Lysander Cafe, now basically a shrine to the remnants of Team Flair, and that's when Grizel, the other barista, completely loses her cool. There's surely a joke in there. And suddenly, we're thrown into a battle. Being Team Flair based, Grizel runs mostly fire types. That's ideal for us, right? Except she also brings an absurdly fast Aerodactyl and somehow a Metagross. So yeah, it's not quite as simple as you think for our water squad. Despite a type advantage, it turns into a tense back and forth with a few knockouts on both sides until finally, we boil over the coffee pot. There's the joke. And we snag the win. After the battle, Grisham starts dropping Flair lore on us. Apparently Lysander was a full-blown madman who wanted to wipe most of Kalos off the map, and it's then revealed that the Lysander labs are hidden right behind the coffee shop bookshelf, and we get to trundle inside to find out more for ourselves. We reach a dark chamber filled with strange machinery, and we learn even more about Lysander's let's get rid of a bunch of people philosophy. The man's practically Thanos with better hair. He explains a bit more, and we realise that there's some sort of misunderstanding that all leads up to Grisham demanding that we bring him Eternal Flower Pokemon AZ's Floette. No, sorry pal, I'm snitching on you. So we track down AZ, spill the beans on the barista, and then it's back to grinding. Like grinding coffee beans. You get it? No? Too niche? Okay. Anyway, we get the Challenger's Pass, and once we've got our magic ticket, it's time to take on Grisham in the final showdown. Well, kind of the final showdown. I'll explain that in a minute. Here's how this stormy fight went. It's Pangoro versus Agent to start, but we decide against the matchup and bring in Royal to dispatch the panda with a waterfall. Tyranitar then rolls in and immediately ends Royal with a Stone Edge. We go back to Agent, who bulks up before knocking out the T-Tar with close combat. Pyroar then comes in, but it just doesn't have enough power, and a second attack takes it out handily. Salamence then rolls in, and it's the one to end Agent's Scourge with a Draco Meteor. But we have Baltic, who freezes it off the field with an Ice Beam. Malamar then arrives, and we swap into Periwinkle, and after the head-to-head, it's our Dread Monkey who comes out on top with a Hydro Pump. That's why we love this thing, team! Charizard finally flaps in, and after a Mega Evolution, Grisham slowly turns the tide of the battle back towards us. Even after getting juiced up, our Baltic drops, and then Storm drops, which is still the best Kanto starter. We then call on our longtime friend Midnight, and a back and forth war of attacks begins. It's getting tense, but eventually we do finally put the lizard to the sword, and the victory is ours. Grisham falls, and we land the win. And just like that, we've officially been promoted to an A-rank trainer. Woohoo! A stands for almost done. Wait, what? We're not done, are we? But of course we're not. The game has to go on, because in the middle of the night, we're literally blown out of bed by a bomb. Or maybe AZ hitting his head? Housekeeping? My room's in pieces. We're shown the neon pink glow of Prism Tower, and it's pretty obvious that we're going to have to go and get that radioactive mess sorted out. Tawny apparently didn't get the memo though, and immediately challenges us to a battle, which honestly goes by without really having to mention a thing. Just get better, girl. After the fight, we watch Floette Mega Evolve into, well, a slightly larger flower in a desperate attempt to fix the situation at the tower. But it arguably makes things worse. Actually, no, it definitely makes things worse. I mean, just look at the monstrosity that cute little flower has turned into all of a sudden. On a side note, does anyone know how to catch this monstrous steel type? Because I could really use that to wipe the real France off of the map. The trainers all hatch a plan, and the fight of the century breaks out as we battle through insane hordes of enemies, leaping over every parkour obstacle Tarragon could have built in its spare time. And finally, we drink a hot coffee? That can't have been that important. Surely we could have waited to have a brew until after this apocalyptic battle. But in the end, we're one Zygarde better off on the team, as L completes his living Pokemon puzzle, forming Zygarde Complete Form to help us out. But we're definitely worse off overall, because Hyper Rogue Ange is really drawn out. If this had been a Nuzlocke, I'd have lost it right here. Well, actually, I would have lost it against Naveen, but we'll just ignore that. And after what feels like an eternity of hiding, hitting, and smacking flower heads down like a squad of deranged Pikmin, we finally deal enough damage for Zygarde to deliver the finishing blow and completely obliterate the tower. The monstrous thing tries to unleash one last light of ruin to destroy France. And honestly, I'm half tempted to let it. I mean, come on guys, we've already got the recipes, so I think we'd be fine. But before that thought can progress any further, we suddenly unlock the ability to Mega Evolve Zygarde. Which means, of course, I'm forced to save Lumiose from the tower's final outburst of destruction. The sky fills with fireworks as we save the day, and AZ is gone? Forever? Oh man, I guess he was 3,000 years old, and that's a lot of candles for one cake. And with that, our bubbly team of water types wraps up one hell of an adventure, full of highs and lows and, let's be honest, a few angry people who are still mad at me that I didn't use Greninja. Thank you all so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this run. If you enjoyed this, a like and a subscribe would be absolutely ace. And join our comment crew by letting me know who your favorite team member was below. As always, a huge thanks to my channel members for keeping the water running. You are the goats. I'd go and watch the last one. You'll like that, I'm sure. And if you've already have done that, there'll be plenty more of these coming soon. So stay tuned. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you all at the Luxury Ball Resort. I'm gonna buy a Periwinkle's plush. I might buy 2. Maybe I'll buy 2. Maybe 3? Could I buy 3? Ooh, 4 would be really... Maybe if I had 6, then that's a full team. Maybe some Pampers? I don't know. I feel like I need...